Listen to me carefully, because this part is the foundation of everything you want in life. Every dream, every goal, every version of yourself you admire from a distance sits on one simple truth. The things that will change you are never comfortable, never easy, never gentle. Discomfort is the down payment for greatness, the entrance fee you must pay if you want to rise above the level of an average existence. And the reason most people never rise is because they refuse to pay that price. You know why comfort feels good? Because it keeps you exactly where you are. Comfort protects your weaknesses, shields your insecurities, wraps your fears in soft blankets, and whispers lies that sound like peace. But comfort is the quiet killer. Comfort is the slow poison that erases ambition. Comfort is the invisible prison you willingly walk into every day. And the worst part is, you lock the door behind yourself. When something is hard, your brain tries to trick you. It says, not today, or not now, or you deserve a break. It tells you the challenge is too big, the effort too heavy, the path too painful. But that voice is not your potential speaking. That is your limitations defending themselves. That is your old self fighting for survival. Because it knows once you step into discomfort with intention, you will never be the same person again. And that scares your weakness more than anything. Everything you admire in another person came from a place of discomfort. The disciplined body you want came from mornings where someone woke up exhausted but trained anyway. The success you want came from nights where someone else stayed working while the world slept. The confidence you want came from moments someone faced fear instead of running from it. The life you want is currently owned by someone who tolerated more discomfort than you have so far. People look at winners and say they're lucky, gifted, blessed. No, they're forged. They're built. They've been hardened by moments that would break most men. You think strength is natural. You think confidence is inherited. You think greatness is accidental. Absolutely not. Those things come from walking into the fire willingly. They come from doing the hard things repeatedly until they no longer feel impossible. They come from embracing discomfort as a companion, not an enemy. And let me tell you something uncomfortable. The moment you run from discomfort, you also run from transformation. The moment you avoid the hard thing, you also avoid the breakthrough that was waiting behind it. Life does not reward those who seek ease. It rewards those who seek growth. Growth is painful, but it is the only path that leads to the life you secretly want. The reason you feel stuck, the reason you feel frustrated, the reason you feel like you're capable of more, but never reach it is because you keep choosing what feels good instead of what feels necessary. You keep choosing the couch over the grind. You keep choosing distraction over discipline. You keep choosing comfort over challenge. And every choice pulls you further away from the person you claim you want to be. Stop pretending you don't know why your life isn't changing. You know exactly why. Change cannot grow in comfort. You cannot stay warm and become sharp at the same time. You cannot stay soft and expect to survive in a world designed to reward the relentless. You cannot stay hidden behind excuses and expect your future self to respect you. The man you want to be is buried under layers of comfort you've piled onto yourself. But the moment you choose discomfort on purpose, everything shifts. Your mind sharpens. Your discipline strengthens. Your self-respect increases. Your limit begins to stretch. You start to realize that pain isn't the enemy. Pain is the teacher. Struggle isn't the obstacle. It's the curriculum. Hardship isn't a punishment. It's preparation. And the discomfort you've been avoiding is actually the doorway you've been searching for all along. Every rep that burns, every morning that feels impossible, every task you dread, every goal that seems out of reach, every fear that makes you hesitate, those are the exact places where your next level is hiding. That is where your strength lies. That is where your identity is rebuilt. That is where average men quit and exceptional men begin. And if you are tired of being stuck, tired of feeling behind, tired of watching others pass you, then you must be willing to walk into that discomfort with purpose, not fear, not hesitation, not excuses. Listen closely, because this is the part most people never understand. Your life is not controlled by chance, luck, fate, or circumstances. Your life is controlled by one thing only: action. Not your excuses, not your intentions, not your plans. Action. And the painful truth is this: your excuses will always sound smarter than your effort. Your excuses will always feel more comfortable than your discipline. Your excuses will always tell a better story than the reality you're afraid to face. But excuses have never built a strong man. Excuses have never created success. Excuses have never paid your bills, shaped your body, or built your future. Only action has ever done that. You see, the world does not reward the person who thinks about doing something. It rewards the person who actually does it. You know, people who talk about going to the gym but never show up. People who talk about building a business but never take the first step. People who talk about changing their habits but never change a single hour of their day. They convince themselves they're making progress because they're planning, thinking, talking. But talking is not momentum. Thinking is not progress. Planning is not execution. Your dreams don't care about your excuses. Your results don't care about your excuses. Your life only responds to what you do. Here's the bitter reality. Your excuses are lies you tell yourself to maintain your comfort, lies that protect your laziness, lies that keep you from facing your potential. Whenever something feels hard, your mind instantly tries to negotiate. It tells you you're tired, you're stressed, you're overwhelmed, you're not ready. But that voice isn't protecting you. That voice is stealing from you. It's stealing your future, your strength, your opportunities, your potential. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? How many times have you promised yourself you'd change, improve, evolve, only to fall right back into the same habits the very next day? You don't fail because you're incapable. You fail because you keep letting your excuses dominate your decisions. You fail because you give your feelings more power than your goals. You fail because when the moment of action arrives, you choose comfort instead of commitment. The truth is, every action you avoid becomes a weight on your shoulders. Everything you procrastinate becomes a chain around your mind. Every excuse you allow becomes another brick in the wall between you and the person you're trying to become. But every action you take, no matter how small, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how inconvenient, becomes a weapon. A weapon against weakness, a weapon against doubt, a weapon against the old version of you that keeps trying to pull you back. Where actions don't need to be perfect to matter. They just need to happen. People lose years waiting for the right time, the perfect moment, the deal mood. Let me tell you something. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. And the men who succeed are the ones who act before they feel ready. They act when they're tired. They act when they're uncertain. They act when their emotions are screaming, "Not today." And because they act despite all of that, they end up living a life others only dream about. You will never think your way into success. You will never talk your way into discipline. You will never excuse your way into greatness. You can only act your way there. And the more you act, the less power your excuses have. The more you act, the stronger your identity becomes. The more you act, the more momentum you build. Momentum is the real secret. Once you take that first step, the next step gets easier. Once you taste progress, discomfort becomes addictive. Once you feel yourself improving, your excuses lose their voice. Imagine the life you want. The version of you who is confident, respected, disciplined, powerful. The version of you who doesn't negotiate with weakness. That version is not created by motivation. It is created by action. Consistent, relentless action. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because difficulty is the test that separates those who want from those who do. And every time you act in the face of difficulty, you prove to yourself that you belong to the second category. Listen to me very carefully, because this part separates the men who rise from the men who break. Life is not supposed to be gentle. It's not supposed to go easy on you. It's not supposed to hand you strength, confidence, success, respect, or power just because you want it. Life is designed to pressure you, push you, test you, stretch you, and break you down to pieces so it can see what you're made of. And when life gets harder, that's the moment you must become harder too. Most people crumble when pressure appears. They panic. They complain. They interpret difficulty as a sign to stop instead of a sign to grow. They think the universe is punishing them, when in reality, the universe is giving them the exact environment required for their transformation. Diamonds are created under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. And men are built in the moments where everything feels overwhelming. The challenges you're facing right now aren't barriers, they are invitations. Invitations to evolve, to elevate, to shift into a version of yourself that cannot be shaken. The truth is simple: the world doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't pause when you're tired. Life keeps moving, challenges keep coming, pressure keeps rising, and you either harden yourself to match the difficulty or the difficulty destroys you. Those are your only two options. Strength isn't built when things are easy. Anybody can smile on a good day. Anybody can be disciplined when everything aligns. Anybody can be confident when there's no resistance. But life doesn't measure you on your best days. It measures you on your worst days, when you're exhausted, stressed, overwhelmed, uncertain, and still choose to show up anyway. You have to understand something: pressure is not your enemy. It's the forge. It's the environment where your character is refined. When everything around you feels heavy, that's when your inner strength is being sculpted. When life feels unfair, that's when resilience is being born. When you feel like you're on the edge, that's where warriors are made. The men who walk through pressure without breaking become the men everyone else looks up to. They become leaders. They become examples. They become unshakable. You've felt pressure before. You've had days where life hit you harder than you expected, where situations spiraled out of control, where people betrayed you, where you felt alone, where everything seemed to fall apart at once. And yet you're still here. That means you're capable of more than you think. That means you've already survived moments that were supposed to break you. That means pressure has been shaping you long before you even realized it. But now you have a choice. You can keep seeing pressure as a threat, or you can start seeing it as a training ground. Every hard moment is a lesson. Every setback is a teacher. Every hardship is a mirror showing you the parts of yourself that need to evolve. And the moment you start embracing pressure instead of avoiding it, everything changes. You stop running. You stop shrinking. You stop doubting yourself. You start understanding that your strength expands. It's only when life demands more from you than you want to give. When life pushes you, you push back harder. When life throws you obstacles, you climb them. When life closes doors, you break through walls. This is how powerful men are built. Not in comfort, not in ease, not in perfect conditions, but in chaos, in friction, in storms, in the moments where other people quit. That's where you rise. That's where you transform. That's where your inner hardness develops. And the truth is, becoming harder isn't about becoming cold or emotionless. It's about becoming disciplined, becoming focused, becoming unstoppable. It's about becoming a man who can handle responsibility, pain, pressure, and uncertainty without folding. Because the world respects the man who is unbreakable. The world follows the man who can stand tall in situations that make others collapse. The world rewards the man who becomes stronger as life becomes harder. So if life feels heavy right now, good. If things feel uncomfortable, good. If challenges keep coming, good. It means you're in the exact place where strength is made. It means you're being shaped into someone who can no longer be overwhelmed by the things that once defeated you. It means the next level of your character is being carved into reality by the pressure you're facing today. Listen closely, because this is the part people misunderstand their entire lives. They think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want. They think freedom means living without rules, without structure, without commitment. They think freedom means waking up late, eating whatever they crave, chasing entertainment, avoiding responsibility, and calling it enjoying life. But that's not freedom. That's slavery. Slavery to impulses, slavery to emotions, slavery to weakness, slavery to everything that keeps you small. Real freedom comes from one thing only: discipline. Discipline is the ability to control yourself even when every part of you wants to break. Discipline is choosing the action that strengthens you, not the one that gives you temporary pleasure. Discipline is deciding your life instead of letting your feelings decide it for you. The man without discipline is not free. He's a prisoner of laziness, a prisoner of inconsistency, a prisoner of distraction, a prisoner of his own excuses. And the sad part is, he doesn't even realize it. Look at your own life. Look at the places where you feel stuck. Look at the habits that drain your energy. Look at the routines that have been repeating for years. You're not stuck because you're unlucky. You're stuck because you let your impulses control your days. You let your comfort dictate your decisions. You let your mind negotiate with your goals. And every time you choose what feels good instead of what feels right, You move further away from the man you're supposed to be. You can't build anything meaningful without discipline. You can't build a strong body because you'll quit the moment the workout burns. You can't build wealth because you'll spend money the second you get emotional. You can't build confidence because confidence comes from doing hard things consistently, not occasionally. You can't build a legacy because legacy is carved through years of commitment, sacrifice, repetition, and focus. Discipline is the foundation of every great life. Without it, everything collapses. Discipline is the only real source of power you have. Not talent, not motivation, not luck. Those things come and go. Discipline is constant. Discipline is the thing that carries you on days where you feel empty. Discipline is the thing that makes you show up when you have zero motivation. Discipline is the thing that forces you to keep going when life punches you in the mouth. Discipline is the thing that separates the talkers from the doers, the dreamers from the achievers, the weak from the unstoppable. And here's the truth: discipline is not meant to feel good. People avoid discipline because it feels uncomfortable, strict, boring, repetitive. But that's exactly why it works. Discipline forces you to do the things your emotional side refuses to do. Discipline turns chaos into structure. It turns weakness into strength. It turns ambition into results. The man who builds discipline builds an armor no one can steal from him. You ever notice something about men who lack discipline? Their lives are always in chaos. Their emotions control them. Their environments control them. Their cravings control them. They say they want success, but they live like someone who wants comfort more than progress. And until they choose discipline, they will remain stuck in the same cycles, trapped in the same habits, repeating the same mistakes year after year after year. But the moment a man decides to build discipline, everything shifts. His mind sharpens, his environment improves, his actions gain purpose, his days gain structure. He starts trusting himself. He starts respecting himself. And self-respect is the true source of confidence, not compliments, not validation, not achievements. Confidence is built when you prove to yourself that you can control yourself. Discipline gives you freedom because it gives you control. Control over your body, control over your time, control over your habits, control over your destiny. When you're disciplined, you don't wait for motivation, you move because you said you would. When you're disciplined, you don't negotiate with laziness, you overpower it. When you're disciplined, you don't hope for success, you create it. And the best part, discipline compounds. The more disciplined you become, the easier it is to maintain it. It becomes part of you. It becomes your identity. It becomes your weapon. You wake up and do the work not because you feel like it, but because it's who you are. A man of discipline, a man in control, a man who chooses his path rather than being dragged by his impulses. And when you reach that level, nobody can take it away from you. Listen very carefully, because this part will expose the truth most people spend their whole lives avoiding. You keep waiting for motivation. You keep waiting for the spark. You keep waiting for the perfect moment when your mind feels ready, your energy feels high, your emotions feel aligned, and everything inside you screams, let's go. But that moment almost never comes, and the men who sit around waiting for it stay exactly where they are, stuck, frustrated, behind. Because motivation is a luxury, not a strategy. It's the most unreliable fuel you could ever depend on. And if you're building your life on motivation, you're building your future on sand. Motivation is exciting. It hits you in waves. It makes you feel unstoppable for a few minutes, maybe a few days, but it always fades. It always disappears. And when it disappears, most people disappear with it. They quit the minute the excitement is gone. They quit the minute the journey feels boring. They quit the minute the grind becomes routine. They think losing motivation means they're not meant for the goal. They think it's a sign to stop. But losing motivation is not a sign to stop. It's the moment where real growth begins. The truth is this: if you only work when you're motivated, you'll achieve nothing. Motivation might start the engine, but discipline drives the car. Motivation can spark an idea, but consistency turns that idea into something real. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Motivation makes you feel good. Discipline makes you become good. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack follow through. They fail because they rely on fleeting emotions instead of unshakable commitment. They start strong, but they don't stay strong. They have the desire, but they don't have the endurance. They want the reward, but they aren't willing to face the repetition, the grind, the boredom, the difficulty, the quiet hours where nobody is watching and nobody is cheering. Those hours are where champions are built. Those hours are where the real transformation happens. When you see someone succeeding at a high level, don't be fooled by the highlight reel. Don't think they're motivated every day. They're not. Nobody is. Even the strongest men wake up tired, stressed, unfocused, unexcited. But the difference is simple. They don't negotiate with themselves. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it?" That question doesn't exist in their mind. They move because movement is mandatory. They work because the mission demands it. They show up because showing up is tied to their identity, not their emotions. If you want to become someone extraordinary, you must stop treating your feelings like commands. Your feelings are suggestions, and most of them are terrible. They tell you to rest when you need to push. They tell you to quit when you need to survive. They tell you to wait when you need to attack. If you let your emotions dictate your decisions, you will always remain in the same place. Growth requires you to act independently of how you feel. That's why consistency is the real superpower. Not intensity, not passion, not bursts of motivation. Consistency. The discipline to show up again and again and again, even when you're tired, even when it's boring, even when the results are slow, even when nobody believes in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. That is the mindset that builds winners. That is the mindset that separates the disciplined from the distracted, the committed from the comfortable, the unstoppable from the forgotten. Think about your own life. Think about how many times you started something with fire in your chest, only to abandon it a week later. Think about how many goals you set with genuine intention, only to let them fade the moment your emotions changed. You don't need more motivation. You need more consistency. You need the courage to keep going long after your excitement dies. You need the strength to keep pushing long after the inspiration disappears. And here's the beautiful thing. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds identity. The more you show up, the more you trust yourself. The more you trust yourself, the more unstoppable you become. You start to see that progress is inevitable as long as you don't quit. You start to understand that consistency is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. You start to realize that the man you admire is simply the man who didn't stop showing up. Listen carefully, because this is the truth nobody wants to admit. The world does not reward perfection, readiness, or comfort. It rewards action. It rewards courage. It rewards the men who start before they feel ready, who begin before the circumstances are perfect, who move when their mind screams, wait and their body whispers, later. Waiting for the perfect moment is the most expensive illusion you can ever believe in. Every second you spend waiting is a second your future self is begging you to stop. Waiting is what keeps the average man average, the dreamer dreaming, and the potential you carry locked in a cage. The men who win, who dominate, who leave legacies, start while others hesitate. They start scared. They start uncertain. They start doubting every decision they make. They start in chaos, in discomfort, in the middle of storms, and yet they start. They start not because they feel confident, not because everything is lined up, not because they know the outcome, but because they understand something most people don't. Readiness is a trap. Readiness is a lie. Readiness is what excuses hide behind. The perfect time will never come. The perfect conditions do not exist. You either start now or you accept a lifetime of mediocrity. Think about it. Every great achievement, every legendary life, every man who walked into history began before he was ready. He had doubts, he had fears, he had nothing but a vision and the courage to act. He didn't wait for clarity, he created clarity through motion. He didn't wait for perfect conditions, he made conditions work for him through relentless action. He didn't wait for confidence, he built it by doing the things others were too scared to do. Starting before you're ready is the ultimate test of courage. It is the moment that separates the talkers from the doers, the dreamers from the builders, the average from the extraordinary. The problem is most people are addicted to comfort. They want the idea of success without the work. They want recognition without risk. They want achievement without sacrifice. And the world will not hand you any of it. You cannot negotiate with reality. Reality rewards movement. Reality rewards effort. Reality rewards those who dare when everyone else hesitates. The man who refuses to start until he's ready is the same man who will never reach his potential because the clock will keep ticking while he debates his options. Life moves on whether you act or not. Action is the only thing that guarantees change. Fear is always going to be present. Uncertainty is always going to be present. Doubt is always going to exist. But these are not signals to stop. These are signals to move. These are the exact indicators that what you're about to do matters. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. If it felt comfortable, it wouldn't be a test. Every moment you hesitate because you're not ready is a moment the stronger version of yourself is screaming for you to take. Every second you delay is a second your future self is counting against you. The men who succeed don't wait to feel ready. They decide that the act itself is the preparation. Think about the life you want, the person you want to become, the goals that seem too big, too intimidating, too far away. You will never reach them by waiting. You will never reach them by planning endlessly, by doubting, by procrastinating. You will reach them by starting, by acting, by moving forward even when you don't know the path, even when the obstacles seem impossible, even when failure feels inevitable. Because it's in those first steps, taken with courage despite fear, that everything begins. That's when momentum starts. That's when identity shifts. That's when the man you're destined to be begins to emerge. The men who start before they're ready understand something essential. The act of beginning itself is what creates readiness. Action builds skill. Action builds confidence. Action builds clarity. You don't need to know the way before you walk it. You discover the way as you move. You don't need certainty before you act. Certainty comes from doing. You don't need perfect conditions. Conditions are made perfect by your willingness to start. Waiting for readiness is the trap. Starting before you're ready is the weapon that separates the weak from the unstoppable. So now it's clear. Every second you waste waiting, doubting, or giving in to comfort is a second stolen from the life you're meant to build. Discomfort, action, pressure, discipline, consistency, and fearless beginnings. These are not optional. They are the blueprint. They are the rules of the game, whether you like them or not. Every man who has ever achieved greatness has paid the price. Every man who has ever left a mark, built a legacy, or dominated his field started before he was ready, pushed harder than anyone thought possible, and refused to settle for excuses. And the truth you must understand is simple. Life does not reward the average, the patient, the comfortable. Life rewards the relentless, the bold, the uncompromising. It rewards the man who says, I don't wait for the perfect moment. I create it. I don't negotiate with weakness. I destroy it. I don't excuse. I execute. That man is you right now in this moment if you decide to claim him. So stop hesitating. Stop waiting. Stop dreaming small. Stop letting fear, doubt, and comfort dictate the terms of your life. Every choice you make from this moment forward either builds the man you want to be or strengthens the chains holding you back. And when you finally embrace the grind, the struggle, the repetition, the pressure, the early mornings, the late nights, the relentless pursuit of excellence, you will realize something. The man you've been waiting to become has been inside you all along. It's time to stop pretending. It's time to stop apologizing. It's time to stop negotiating with life. The path is hard, yes. The road is unforgiving, yes. But that is exactly what makes it worth walking. That is exactly what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. That is exactly what defines men who leave a legacy. And if you step up, act now, embrace every challenge, every struggle, every obstacle as fuel, then nothing in this world can stop you. Nothing can break you. Nothing can stand in your way. The choice is yours. You can stay where you are, comfortable in mediocrity, letting your excuses define your life, letting time slip past, letting your potential die quietly. Or you can rise, you can fight, you can grind, you can embrace the pain, the discipline, the pressure, the struggle, the fear, the uncertainty, and turn it all into power, into momentum, into unstoppable action. This is your moment. This is the time. This is the life you decide to take. No excuses, no hesitation, no compromise.